Okay, good afternoon, everybody. Thank you all for joining this webinar with our partners, NBB. And, we're all here today to look at how we can identify solutions to strengthen the fintech industry here in Bahrain and the region. Let me just give you a little bit of a introduction to the context of how this next, 35, 40 minutes is going to go. We'll do some introductions about ourselves. I'll talk to you about who I am and who our guest is here today. And we'll bring to life the NBB Banking Challenge and also hear about all the exciting things NBB are doing in the digital banking space. And you'll get to understand how the actual NBB Digital Banking Challenge will work, the structure of it. And of course, we'll allow for some questions as well and try and answer anything we can. But as well, I'll try and trigger your thoughts on fintech in general, the importance of fintech, and the importance of having obviously partners such as NBB working with Bahrain FinTech Bay to ensure we strengthen the fintech industry in Bahrain and the region. So let me begin by just introducing myself. So I'm Tariq Mattar. I'm the Director of Business Development at Bahrain FinTech Bay. And I'll just like to welcome Loay. I'll ask him to introduce himself from NBB.
Hi everyone, thank you Tariq. Good afternoon. As Tariq mentioned, I'm Loay AlAlawi. I work at the Strategy Department at the National Bank of Bahrain.
Amazing, thanks, Loay. I think at the top, let's begin with kind of just why Bahrain FinTech Bay began in 2018, because we were mandated to further develop Bahrain's fintech ecosystem, nurture and support innovation, and work on acceleration programs and provide a platform for collaboration. And then we work with entrepreneurs, government bodies, and financial institutions. And one of our main partnerships is, as you can see here today, is with the National Bank of Bahrain. And we have a number of partnerships with different, with the government, with association partners, venture capital firms. We work with the regulators as well, with eyes and ears on the ground. But then also our financial services network is super important for us to understand the needs of the ever-changing financial services sector and support our partners such as NBB. What we'll go through now as well is I'll give you a bit of an insight into what we're seeing in the fintech industry, and also it'll be a great opportunity for Loay to give us all an insight into some of the exciting things NBB are doing in the space. As you're all probably aware, they have a digital transformation strategy, so it'll be great to understand. And then what you'll see is kind of logically why innovation or doing the digital banking challenge is important, because at the end of the day, you are the people on the other side of the apps and of the and are the target audience. So as you all know, obviously, fintech refers to technology-enabled companies that leverage technology to provide informed financial services. And it's twofold. I think what's very interesting for you all to think about, even when you're looking at, you're all entrepreneurial and you're looking at designing solutions, think about it from two lenses. I think there's a good point Loay made to me earlier today. We all think about just the retail aspect because we relate to it. On the retail side, fintech enables the ability for customers to have access to what they want, quick, easy, secure access, the ability to have options, the ability for bespoke solutions to be designed to their needs and making their life easier. Now, on the other side, for companies, it allows for operational efficiencies, right? So if I'm using fintechs for my internal operations, it allows me to reduce costs, allows me to process things faster, allows me to give the customer what they want quicker. So fintech enables kind of cost saving and operational efficiency on one side, but then the customer experience and the ability for bespoke products on the other side. There are many different verticals now in the fintech space. You probably all heard of, blockchain technology that's enabling a lot of the solutions today. You probably all heard about, how AI is being used. But when we think of just the different products in the fintech space, there's alternative lending, which allows for kind of the crowdfunding element now. You can go and access money in different geographies, payments and transfers now, the remittances and any payments and settlements are made easier and smoother with a lot of fintech solutions. And then when you think about solutions, they need to be highly regulated and trusted. So there's a lot of regulatory tech around supporting this. Then when it comes to wealth tech, how to manage your money, it's a lot more easier now through customer-centric solutions instead of dealing with the banks directly. And of course, you're all probably aware of what's happening in the crypto space around blockchain and crypto services have become now the new digital assets. So lots happening in the fintech space, lots happening for the customers, but lots happening for companies and the financial services sector to think about, like NBB. So on that note, and what's important for you guys as well, would be to hear from Loay on kind of what NBB have been doing from a strategic perspective, then also some real examples. And bear in mind, think about these things, because when you're designing your propositions, it would be something that maybe could connect onto what NBB are doing. Loay, over to you.
Thank you, Tariq, for the great introduction. As Tariq mentioned, at the National Bank of Bahrain, we've been doing a lot in the past couple of years, and when it comes to digital transformation and automating the client journey end to end. So not just the front end, but the entire back end operations as well. Whenever we have a new service to introduce, we always have it client centric, and we try to have it seamlessly integrated through our digital channels. In the past couple of years, the bank have invested more than $100 million to revamp and enhance our digital infrastructure, the backend systems, and the front end channels. And Tariq touched based on it. We have one of the best retail apps today in Bahrain, but also we have other mobile applications. We've introduced recently, about 2 years ago now, the Points by NBB application, which is a really seamless application where we can gamify some of the banking transaction and get the customers to engage with us and earn rewards on it. We also have our NBB business for corporates and SMEs to use. They can execute all of their transactions and all of their banking needs seamlessly through the mobile application. Recently, just a couple of months ago, we've introduced NBB Go, where you can make payments using a mobile app. So those POS machines, when you visit any shop, you have that physical device that you have to tap on it to make the payment. Now with NBB Go, you do not need that physical device. You just need to download the app on your phone, and then just tap your card or your other phone with the wallet onto the second phone to make the payment. So these things wasn't possible just a couple of years ago, and it allows us to deliver our services instantly without the need to visit a branch. So I'll take NBB Go, for example. Previously, you had to come as a merchant, as a business, you had to visit the branch, you had to bring a lot of paperwork and a lot of back and forth, and then probably a few days later, you'll get the physical device, you'll have to be trained on it. There is a lot of manual aspect with it. Now with NBB Go, it's instant. You just download it on your app, register, get onboarded, and you're ready to go. Last but not least, we also have our Al-Watani Trade application, which allows customers to trade and buy stocks on Bahrain Bourse. Generally, those are our front-end applications. But again, as we've mentioned, we've done a lot on the back-end operations to automate a lot of the manual aspect. to revamp our technology stack. So, for example, just a couple of years ago, our entire technology was based on in-house data center, right? Today, a lot of it is hosted on the cloud. And with the cloud, we get a lot of benefits of we can scale it up and down instantly. We can have a much reliable service available. And we can choose easily to host it wherever we want. We have AWS in Bahrain, but we can choose to host it in Saudi, in the UK, in Ireland, in UAE, wherever we want, which gives us that more flexibility and agility and in managing our infrastructure.
Yeah, no, that's brilliant. And I think for everyone with an entrepreneurial spirit or looking to design solutions in the fintech space, Bahrain as an ecosystem is actually very friendly and supportive towards this. I mean, I'll just give you some figures just in terms of, Bahrain FinTech Bay working with successful startups that have now set up here. We have over 120 fintechs active and live in Bahrain. We have a regulatory sandbox with the central bank. This is very important because if you've designed a solution, you can get the central bank support and work with them and understand how it can be regulated, which will help you access the market quicker. There's been a lot of fintech initiatives over the last few years. I mean, if you think of Bahrain as a country, right? We have the national digital identity and the eKYC platforms, as Loay mentioned as well. AWS data center being in Bahrain is also important for when you're thinking about your solutions. And then in 2019, we had, the open banking framework that was launched. For those of you who are just new to open banking, that allows for, the transfer of data behind the scenes for all the banks. So the infrastructure behind the scenes, shares the data, and you have one digital profile as a customer. This allows for more possibilities in designing, exciting solutions. And then beyond banking itself, when we think of, some of our legacy industries such as telecom, etc., they've already started moving into the money space as well. And there's been now in the news recently, I'm sure you've all noticed, the digital token regulations that are coming in Bahrain. So there's lots of space for growth, collaborations, and partnerships across many different subsectors for Bahrain. I think what we'll go through now is, I think, just some of we want to give you a bit of an idea in the fintech space, and in particular a digital bank and what they deal with, because this will allow you, when I take you through the structure of the challenge, how you will design and build your value proposition and your minimal viable product. And you have to think of the problem statement. I'll go into more detail over that. But if you don't have a idea today, I think there was some comments previously about, okay, I don't have my idea yet. Well, the good thing now is you've heard from Loay, some of the different apps that NBB use. Loay will take us through now some of the trends, and then in more detail, kind of the banking as a service model for NBB, and that might give you some new problem statements to think about before we go into this challenge.
Absolutely, Tariq. So when thinking about your idea, guys, think about all of the pain points that you are facing, right? You guys are using the application on a daily basis. You know your needs. You guys are coming into the sector with fresh minds. We've been here for some time now. We know the previous pain points, but I'm sure you guys are facing some issues, or whenever you're using the app, you just thought, oh, only if we had that feature, or only if we could do this thing in a different way. Think about those stuff, I think, and try to come up with a solution for them and how we can implement it in the bank. Here are some of the key trends that we are focusing on. Generally, we're seeing day by day more growth on our digital channels. I'll just give you an example for this year. About 80% of all of the new accounts were opened through our mobile app, right? Previously, pretty much it was 100% through our branches. But today, that figure is shifting to the mobile app. So from the onboarding perspective, can we think about a way of making it easier, faster, more seamless? Today, it takes just a few minutes, but can we make it even easier? Or can we do other stuff in our app? And then we have open banking. Open banking, as you guys know, that it allows you to share your financial data with other financial institutions. So for example, if you have your account in NBB and you'd like to share that information elsewhere, with just a click of a button, you will be able to do that. And with that, it opens a lot of doors. You can achieve many things with it. So you can think about stuff to, for example, expense management or budgeting tools. You can come up with ideas in that space. AI and data analytics is something really big, and we are going heavily into it. I'll give you an example here. When we talk about personalized banking, you know, when you use, for example, YouTube, right? Your homepage or your feed is different to mine, is different to Tariq, is different to any one of your siblings, because your interest is different and your needs are different. Similarly with banking, right? Why should we have the same interface for our entire customer base? Can we make it more personalized? Can we provide some personalized services for each category of customers? Payments and real-time transactions is another big area. Think about it 10 years ago, before we had EFTS or Fawry Plus in Bahrain. Whenever you wanted to transfer something, the easiest way was to take the physical cash from one place to another, because it was very, very expensive to do it through the bank, through the traditional payment railways. But now with EFTS, with Fawry Plus, we can do it instantly. And Fawry, which is the deferred net settlement of version of Fawry Plus, it's seen as too slow if it takes just 1 day. Previously, it took 2 weeks and we were fine with it, but now 1 day seems far away with larger transactions. So we can, again, a lot of innovation can be done in that area. And the biggest one is embedded finance and banking as a service. Just think about any fintech application you're using, non-banking one, right? All of the services they provide, they need back-end systems to provide them. Yeah, just any fintech app, any investing application you've used, any digital wallet you've used, there has to be a bank behind them, providing them with some of those services. That's banking as a service. So the bank provide the back-end infrastructure, while the fintech provide the front-end application. And the opportunities are endless in this space. How can we make it easier? How can we do more in that area is another big thing we are working on.
Yeah, no, thanks. I think that's definitely some good snippets, especially if I'm thinking of what type of solution I'll probably look to design through the banking challenge. And you did touch on it. I mean, like open banking now with all the APIs connected through the open banking network allows for endless opportunity, personalized and user-centric experiences, right? And then when you think of what we have today, let's go beyond that, right? Now, and like through kind of your benefit type of structure, you have real-time payments across different sectors. And then when you look at kind of digital banks today, let's think about beyond that. So, but digital banks, they allow us to, manage the budget, payments, queries, all that stuff. That's all customer centric stuff. That's already designed and in play today. What can we do beyond that? What can we think about beyond that to unlock further experiences for yourselves? And what I would say is actually don't just think about, when you think of your user experience, think about collaboration across sector as well. You don't know, maybe there's something there. And a good point on what Loay mentioned as well. We tend to, and when I've done these acceleration programs before, we understand retail because we are customers, and that's just one element. There's the entire process from front end, or from back end all the way to the front end, and you have an opportunity to design something that can help in any of those touch points across the value chain. And touch point is not only for customers, touch points is for the bank itself as well. So banking as a service, do your research and look into that. there could be a lot of opportunities there when designing your solutions. I think we'll now move into, I think, I'll just talk about just the trends kind of when we're talking about, a career in fintech or just the opportunities taking place in the field. And then I'm sure like NBB have a lot of different kind of profiles they look for as well. All of you are on this call here today because you have an interest in the financial services sector. Just to give you a bit of an insight, and I've been in some discussions in some other countries just around talent. In Bahrain, we're lucky in a sense to, since the 70s, Bahrain historically has been, very strong in the financial services sector. So that's allowed for us to have, the maturity with some of our leading kind of partners in the banking world here, such as NBB. The good news is banking is kind of in our culture, but now the evolution is taking place where, technology is driving us to push for new solutions all the time. Blockchain's coming out, AI is coming out. How does that impact you guys? Well, I actually think there's a huge opportunity in the financial services sector. You're only going to see more growth in the sector. There's going to be a lot more companies coming into play, whether it's, companies in the real world asset space, companies in the tokenization space, companies that are blockchain solutions. So we are forecasting when we're discussing our talent and our career pathways for people at a national level, we're foreseeing a lot of growth in this area. And I think what's important as well now, the financial services sector doesn't only recruit finance graduates, because it's an end-to-end experience that touches on many different facets and skills. Anyone with varied skill sets across the board are in demand in the financial services space, in the finance of the future. And you can go into it, Loay, I think, in terms of how NBB look at the potential as well for different profiles.
Yeah, so absolutely, Tariq. I'll just echo your words in terms of banks don't just recruit finance graduates.
Yeah.
So, I mean, finance graduates are really important because at the end of the day, we are a bank, but there is other elements that are needed and are fundamental to operate and run a bank, right? Over here, we have some examples, but you can think of basically any digital related skills, or the demand for it is just increasing day by day. And that's both from the technical and the business side. So if we go to the technical side, yes, we have software engineers who are in high demand. We have computer science, we have data scientists, which is another big area. And I'm pretty sure all of the banks will start having roles in those areas. But then from the business side as well, from the user experience, from the user interface designers, from the digital solutions where we come up with various value propositions, research analysts, there is endless amount of roles that are being created in that space. And not just from those, I think we have some example over here about the supporting units that are needed to achieve that objective. For example, we have a really good example over here of compliance, right? Whenever we'll do something different and something new, we have a really supportive central bank that can support us from a regulation perspective to achieve whatever we are trying to achieve. However, that requires compliance specialists and compliance team who are aware about the details of fintechs and how does it work and how does the digital banking work, so they can communicate it effectively, they can mitigate the risks, they can ensure that each bank is in compliant with the regulator expectation. So there is a lot of opportunities in that area.
Yeah, no, I totally agree, and I think also think about the fact that I think in this challenge and the way the challenge was designed with NBB, it will give you a little bit of a feel for all the elements here, because when you're designing a solution, you need to think of the product itself, the viability of the product, design the product, think about the stakeholders, the user experience, the design, the challenges, the regulatory landscape, can it fit in or not fit in, the compliance element, the data element, the governance, if you're gathering data, and then if you're using AI, there's a lot of different, when you think about an idea, there's actually a lot of different lenses and inputs to it, in which when you do kind of scale up and become a full scale operation, you would be needing people from different skill sets that is listed here today. I think what we'll do next is we'll take you through the steps of how you would go through building a digital banking idea, and of course the challenge itself will be around supporting you through that. But we'll take you through the steps now. Steps to building a digital banking idea. I think one thing that's super important, if I just forget about this program in itself, but I always talk to people about ensuring you have an extremely clear problem statement. And you mentioned this at the beginning, like, if you don't already have a problem statement today, I think, go and utilize the different apps. Go and be a, user critic on all of those apps. See where you feel, this is from a customer side, where you feel like maybe there's ideas to be solved. Think about maybe, like the operational element, the processing times, etc. But do think about a clear problem statement. And the reason why I say this is because if you're driven by the clarity of a problem that you're looking to solve, the solution itself never usually is what you initially designed it to be, because you test it, you iterate it, you redesign it, but as long as the consistency is, it's going to solve that problem. I heard someone told me a quote the other day: every day you get smarter. So it's not that you made a mistake or that you did something wrong, you just learned something new. So that takes place daily when you're designing a solution or an idea, or bringing an idea to life. But the importance is you have clarity on the problem itself that you're looking to bridge. So yes, definitely, I'd say identify a gap. And of course, for this challenge, and of course, we're doing it with NBB. So from the banking, has to be banking related. And I would look at, I think we can even go beyond the traditional banking. Let's look at the gaps in today's digital banking. We're already up and running, as Loay mentioned. There's lots happening in the digital banking space. So that's a good starting point. Research market needs and customer pain points. I'm an ex-consultant. It's extremely important to benchmark different solutions or different countries or different environments. So you get an idea for how things have worked before, or success stories. You get an idea for what works, what doesn't work, but you also get an idea for where the pain points are. There might be consistent pain points. There might be specific pain points to the market that we're in today, which is why actually when we go through the program and the challenge itself, we'll work with you on an actual canvas model where you can design your idea, but take into consideration all these elements, and you'll learn how to do that, and it will help you iterate your designs of the actual idea. Do look up design thinking methodologies, because this will help you think about how you make your idea come to life and build your minimal viable product. For those of you that might not be aware, the minimal viable product is not the ultimate solution that you're looking to achieve. It's the minimum elements of that product that you can roll out and go live on. In an iterative, agile environment, especially on the tech side, you always look to design what you're looking to achieve. You're going to solve a problem. You understand your stakeholders and your challenges. You have a business case. You have potential funding. You have all that in place. But to make it go live, you come with your basic product, and then you continue to build on top of it. And it goes through phases. You roll out, you continue building on top of it. And as you said, every day you get smarter. Partnerships are very important. The Bahrain ecosystem, I'd like you all to go and understand it. There are potential for partnerships in many facets and aspects, whether it's dealing with other banks, whether it's dealing with different service providers, other sectors, regulators, incubators, financial kind of funding. There's lots of potential partnerships on the business side and on the technical side. So have a think about that. You know, is there an appetite for partnerships when you're designing your business model as well? Sorry, I went through
لا لا,
these points, but
it
if
is
there's
great. I
anything you want
think
to add,
you've covered the majority of it. I'll just add one point that
yeah,
whenever, as Tariq mentioned, whenever we are researching the pain point and the challenges faced by customers, go and speak to actual customers who are facing that issue. Hear
yeah,
from them, listen from them. What is the actual challenge? They might think the issue is something, but when you hear from it and analyze it, probably the issue is something completely different, but they're frustrated about something. And when you think about the solution, again, speak to the same group, see would they use it? Does it solve their problem? Things like that will help us be more effective in the solution design. And the last thing I would say is, since it's a digital solution, there is not a rule, but a general guidance is that whatever we are trying to achieve, let's try to achieve the same objective with a maximum of 3-4 clicks. So try to limit the number of clicks, we shouldn't ask this customer to enter information that we already have. Try to fetch the data ourselves and obtain it ourselves to limit the amount of information the customer is required to input, and therefore limit the number of clicks. So that's my
yeah.
point at the end.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. I think, yeah, definitely on the even on the data side and infrastructure side, when you are designing something, do think about that. There is already infrastructure in place, and think about the fact that NBB already has customers, which means they already have a data set. So that might help accelerate or help with your designing of your current solution. You know, there are a number of ways to get started in digital banking. Loay will take you through a few of them. And I think the Evolve program was one other element, another program that NBB were doing as well. And of course, we'll go into the structure of the banking challenge as well next, and get you started.
Absolutely, Tariq. So we have, I'm pretty sure all of you guys have heard about our Evolve program. So annually, each year in the summer, NBB welcomes a large number of interns under our Evolve program, where they get the chance to hear from and learn from pretty much the entire bank. So they will get sessions from every single division in the bank. They will learn more about how does the bank operate, what is required in each role, what roles are available, and then the remaining of the internship, they will get a chance to choose their division and sort of be in that division to get hand-on experience.
No, amazing. And of course, you're all here today because I'm sure you're all interested in the digital banking challenge, which Bahrain FinTech Bay are going to be facilitating, of course, with the support of NBB. But the beauty of the NBB banking challenge, I'll take you through the structure of it. But of course, you'll be able to work with and get access to the Bahrain FinTech Bay team as well. So I'm really looking forward to leveraging our mentors and all of us as a team, and even the NBB team to work with you on something exciting. Definitely something worthwhile. You've met me. You probably are aware of Amina as well. She's the partnership manager and will be working closely with you all. And of course, we have Dara, who is on the marketing side. But the entire BFB team you'll have access to, which I'm happy to say I love doing this, and it's exciting to work on this with NBB and with Loay's team. I'll take you through, actually, before we go this, just please make sure, if you haven't already, follow the NBB Banking Challenge. If you haven't already signed up, please sign up, please register. Please message us if you have any questions on that. I will stop for questions as well after I take you through the structure, but please do those things. Let me take you through the structure of the challenge itself. So if we work backwards, the ultimate goal is to be able to pitch your idea in a demo day. But before that, let's come all the way back to where we are today, where we're in the application phase. So as I said, please do have a good think about it. It's something very exciting. Do register. You can register individually, or you can register as a team as well. And then we'll go through the registrations and we'll invite you to a 2-day boot camp where you'll get access to panel sessions around the different key topics. And then you will need to work on a short video where you'll pitch your idea. So on a very high level, as we said, like Loay said as well at the beginning, think about as I said, do a bit of research on the different areas of the banking where you want to come in and provide an impact, where you want to disrupt it, where you want to fix it, and then put together a small video about your idea. I would recommend, of course, you focus and keep it very clear and simple, the proposition, the problem you're trying to solve, the concept of it, and how you'll go about building it. And then we'll move to selecting the top 10. And then after that is a 6-week incubation program where you will have a dedicated structure where you'll get access to the mentors, and we'll be working with you on helping you design your minimum viable product, taking you through a design thinking mechanism to allow you to understand the different challenges, the design elements, how you're going to solve it, the tech, the cost, the connection with the infrastructure, the data, all of that sort of stuff we'll work with you on. So you get great exposure to the mentorship network of Bahrain FinTech Bay. You get great exposure to the NBB Bank, and you'll start exploring how your solution can be designed to support them. And it's great to always have the business buy-in as well, which will allow you to design what you need to do accordingly. There'll be a few kind of keynote speakers as well. So all in all, a very eventful 6 weeks, but high value and a great learning and experience, regardless of the solution that gets designed. What will you gain? I mentioned a few of them, but hands-on experience, I think it's always great. Even if you're not, if you're new to this sort of concept or this sort of event, it gets you out of your comfort zone, allows you to collaborate and work with others, to do some design thinking, to bring to life an idea, and also challenge and be creative at the same time. You get the industry exposure, as I said. I mean, NBB have their doors open to you. They're working with you. They're going to collaborate with you. And Loay and his team, I mean, Loay is part of the strategy team in NBB. It's the right time to be involved in such topics of interest. So with them doing their digital transformation, you gain access to all of what's happening there. And also contacts, right? At the end of the day, these events are great to build your own personal network. And then also Bahrain FinTech Bay will open those doors for you too. Mentorship. So we're all going to be involved as mentors. There's a few exciting startups here and mentors from the Bahrain FinTech community that will be there to talk to you, to help you, and then also on the NBB side, and then also Bahrain FinTech Bay, including myself. Innovation skills. I think it's so important that regardless of the problems of the product itself or whatever you design, going through the entire journey from ideation all the way to implementation or getting to a point of a minimal viable product through the design thinking methodology is something you can utilize in all walks of life and in all areas. Just the way you see things, the way you assess things, the way you design things is really helpful. And of course, as we said, ideas are only as good as how they're delivered. And this is a great experience we find across the previous cohorts as well. Just the practicing and pitching your presentation. This allows you to challenge your thought process, how you articulate your messaging, how you put yourself forward, how you put together your idea so it can be adopted and understood. There's a lot of times, I'm sure Loay has seen this as well, where there's some great ideas. They just are not good at communicating it and they never get the opportunity because of the lack of ability to present. And again, this is something transferable as a skill across all. Networking opportunities, I've mentioned that, and access to resources. We're all here to support. and you'll get that as well. Of course, as an incentive, there will be cash prize as well for the main winners. So please apply now. It's an exciting time at a Bahrain level. It's an exciting time for Bahrain FinTech Bay working with our partners such as NBB. And yeah, looking forward. Loay, if you have any other comments.
Yeah, I'd just like to highlight, as Tariq mentioned, it is a great opportunity to start your career, especially those of you who are about to graduate. It will give
Yeah,
you
good point.
hands-on experience to interact with with many professionals across the bank, across Bahrain FinTech Bay, to get to work on life, يعني on actual projects that can be implemented in the future. You get the chance to experience the process and what it takes to actually build the digital solution at a large corporate. So it is a great opportunity. Please make the most out of it, as I'm sure it's going to give you a lot of valuable skills.
Totally agree. Totally agree. I'll open it up. I mean, I'll just think I've been doing interviews recently as well, and I'm just thinking about the interesting candidates that we've been speaking to do talk about real life experience and do talk about whether it's been something successful or not, their ability to talk about going through those stages or steps, or being able to think of a problem statement, design it, and bring it to life and talk about it and understand the challenges is something that we love to hear about. I'll open to some questions if there are any. I think you can write them in the webinar chat as well, and we'll see if we can answer them. Otherwise, you can always write to us. You can info at Bahrain FinTech Bay, or the I think is there a particular email for the NBB challenge?
We actually were using our info at bahrainfintechbay.com.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, perfect.
Yeah. And I've been answering some of the questions, but we have a couple more.
Okay, sure. Yeah. I don't know if I can see them. I'm in the webinar chat. Oh no, I need to open the Q&A, right?
Yeah.
Actually, can you read out one of the questions while I open this up?
Sure, no problem. So one of the questions we've got from an anonymous attendee, can anyone apply from any major? Yes. So you can apply from any major. You don't have to be specifically from banking and finance major. So it's open. And
Right.
another question we've got from Hussein is the idea must be about the NBB app. Maybe I will let Loay or Tariq answer, but pretty much, yes, it's mostly focused on the NBB app.
Yes, absolutely. So it is NBB app or NBB services. So it's not just focused on our main mobile application, although it's great if we can do something in that in our main retail app. But as I mentioned in the beginning, we have multiple mobile applications, and it's not just limited to the applications, because we have many things that we could do probably in the backend within our offices or within our backend operations, or in terms of banking as a service, as I mentioned in the beginning, how NBB can serve other fintech companies.
Yeah, no, that's good. So you're saying is a fintech major in demand? So think about it this, yeah, definitely. In general, we're seeing growth, right, in the sector itself. Now, the interesting point with that is a fintech specific major is great, but the fact that the sector is open, as we mentioned on one of the slides, across different skills, you're going to start. There's a demand for a number of different skills in the fintech sector or across different. There's many new startups, by the way, in Bahrain, across many different subsectors that have opened up, and they're looking. There's a potential for skills to be acquired in all those spaces. What else do we have? If we're busy with university, I might not be able to attend. is it fine? I'm hopefully by, if I'm not mistaken, the timing of the challenge are just over the Christmas, over the end of year. Hopefully maybe universities stop it, so you probably have a chance to attend as many as possible. But if you're within a team, etc., if you reach the 6-week incubation, would hopefully want you to be around as much as possible. But it's quite flexible. You can work out of hours with your team, etc. But there'll be more information on that. But yeah, within reason, it's okay. You registered as an individual, but you want a team. How can I network with others? I think at the beginning, do we on the first day, do we like kind of like is there going to be like, are we going to share the community information with everyone? Or if you registered as an individual, I think they need to network, right, and build a team.
Yeah. So I think that depends. I think we can get more information later on regarding how many members in a single team.
Yeah, I think what we'll do is if people have registered as individuals, and you haven't been able to make a team, we will connect all the individuals that have registered on a community or something, and then you can connect and find a way to connect and make a team or something like that. Should we have complete digital knowledge? Not necessarily, not required. I mean, you will acquire a lot of digital knowledge through this next few months. Is the winner hosted at Bahrain FinTech Bay or funded for starting a project? So what you do is you'll have access to Bahrain FinTech Bay. Yes, I mean you can come and sit here anytime you like and meet us, and we're always here to provide help. The money itself, you could use it towards funding a project, and we can also put you in touch with our VC support, and we can find ways. But let's get to the solution first. What's the maximum number of students in each team? I think it was, if I'm not mistaken, you don't want more than 4 or 5. I think it becomes too many, maybe. What did we have last year in terms of the numbers per team?
I believe we had around like between 4 to 5 maximum.
Yeah, I'd say that then it's a bit too much. You want to be like a boy band or a girl band or a mixed group. It's 4 or 5 is usually the number. Have I missed anyone? It's a good point, actually. How can we assure that our idea is new and wasn't in the previous NBB challenge? I think when they put their ideas across, I think you'll be working with us, so we'll be able to guide you on that when you're designing it. But more than the idea, this is why I always mention it. Don't think about the idea. Think about the problem statement first. And there could be a problem statement that was there last year but wasn't solved. So you have another chance to solve it. So focus on the identification of the problem statement. And then on a high level, see in the video, you'd want to probably talk about the problem you're looking to solve. And then over the course of the program, you'll design the right MVP, which will become the right idea to solve that problem. So when it comes to the video, you want to show that you've done your research, you've really truly identified a gap, and you want to use the next few weeks to design something to bridge that gap through a solution you'll design on the program, if you get what I mean. Okay. Okay, I think, will it be in English? There are students studying in Arabic. The good news is most people will be bilingual taking part. So you'll be able to speak to the mentors, etc., in English or Arabic, whatever you're comfortable with. This is a nice question, actually, the final question we'll take today for Loay. since you work in a bank, what's the biggest problem you face now? I think he wants to get his problem statement now.
There are many, but let's take it from a technology perspective. How do you take let's take loans, for example, right? Loans require a lot of risk mitigation, where you do a lot of check on each customer. How can we disperse the loan instantly? How can we make this entire journey instantly? At NBB, we've gone one step and we've came a long way that we have our loan origination through our mobile application today. But can we make it instantly? Probably that's one. Number two, again, around the credit is we've seen a lot of buy now, pay later providers entering the market, right? How can banks maybe enter that space, providing instant credit? When it's buy now, pay later, it's a very small amount that you can take the decision faster. And with Benefit today, we have credit score, so you can pull that data from an API. But how can we build the entire probably customer journey around that? These are two things that are consuming some time.
This brings a good point, actually, Loay. So when you're doing your video, when you're articulating the problem you're solving, think of the journey itself. So when you're explaining it, okay, we understand that this is the particular journey, and within that journey, there's an element that we believe can be enhanced, and you articulate how you're going to enhance it and why you're going to enhance it. Will make the person listening truly understand, because we want it to be banking focused, right? So think about it that way. So then a bit of research and technical needs to be done on making it relevant, right? Otherwise, you'll struggle to bring it to life or to sell the idea as well, right?
Absolutely. One last thing I'll just add here. In Bahrain, we are very fortunate to have the central bank regulation, where it allows us to serve GCC visitors in Bahrain. So, for example, I'm a Saudi, I'm a Kuwaiti, I am a Emirati. I can have a bank account in Bahrain. The thing is, what can the banks do, for example, to service that category? Why would they open the account? Stuff like that, maybe we can. If you can think about digital solutions in that area, it might be beneficial.
Great. I think that's fantastic. Thank you, everyone, for being with contributing and hearing us out. I really hope that you've registered by now, and we would love to. Can't wait to work with you.
Yes, thank you, Tariq, for your time, Dua, and thank you all for sharing.
Thank you, Loay, and thank you to NBB. Best of luck, everybody.
Thank you. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.